Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Light Sports Ramble. As always, my pleasure to come to you this evening. Got a jam-packed episode tonight. So I stopped at my local establishment, Detour Bar and Grill. Got to give them props whenever I stop over there. The queen bartender, Valerie, who always takes care of my beverage needs. I always make sure that I have my beverage and always make sure I leave on time. As I told you, only have 3. But then tonight, the first ever bartender I met at the Detour Bar and Grill, Tater, came in. I haven't seen this man in months. But he came in to work on a Monday night, and he walked in with a Randall Cunningham throwback jersey on. And I thought it was important, because we're talking about the read option and the running quarterback. And a lot of times we forget about Randall Cunningham, the quarterback who really kind of sparked the NFL as a quarterback who could throw and run. That was Randall Cunningham. So I gave props. Gotta love Randall Cunningham. But let's get into it. Tonight's episode is about some of the highlights from Week 1 in the NFL. We might as well start on Thursday night with Peyton Manning being unhuman and throwing 7 touchdowns in one game. That is just unbelievable. That offense is clicking in Week 1. Just nuts. Just insane. Now, I can't give a reading on the defense. Flacco did throw for over 300 yards, but they were behind so much that they had to keep throwing. So I can't get a good read on that defense. But I still think the Ravens' offense is average at best. But Peyton Manning, great job. Looks like you're in your prime, not on your way out of the NFL. So good job, Peyton. But then I'm going to go into the feel-bad story. Feel bad for 3 players this week that may have cost their teams games. Levante David. I mean, I saw his face after that play. Grown man on the sideline, almost in tears. The guy was almost in tears, a grown man. But I'm going to tell you this, Buccaneer fans, do not get on Mr. David. He played with passion. He played aggressive. The rule is the rule. It was a foul. It was unnecessary roughness. Now, I don't totally agree with it. Because with these running quarterbacks today, they have to look at this. Geno Smith is angling like he wants to go out of bounds, and it's under 2 minutes, so most likely he's going to go out of bounds, right? Wrong. I want you to think back to one of the best running quarterbacks ever in the NFL, Steve Young. He was the best at doping defensive players into what I'm trying to say. He would act like he's going to run out of bounds, make the defender slow down, and juke them. So it always irks me that the guy gets hit with 1 step on the white line and they hit him. Who cares? I understand you're trying to protect players, but come on. You're giving the clear advantage to the offensive player. And these athletic quarterbacks today, they can juke out a linebacker with a blink of an eye because they're that athletic. So, Mr. David, I know you cost your team a game. You got a penalty, but I like the play. You went full force at him. I'm not going to blame you because I was a coach one time, and the one thing I told my players after a loss, when a player did something like that, it's not that play that cost us the game. What about the other 59 minutes of that game? Was there not a play that could have been converted? Maybe the offense could have punched the ball in the end zone instead of having to kick a field goal. So I feel bad for Mr. David. It's not your fault. Everybody's going to blame you for losing the game, but the other 59 minutes had an important role also. So Buccaneer fans, don't be on him. The second guy, Mr. Williams in Carolina. Nobody was probably more heartbroken than myself because I picked this upset. I picked your Carolina Panthers to beat the Seahawks. And you guys were driving to do it. A touchdown there, and the way your defense was playing, you would have won the game. But the same thing is to be said. It's not like you dropped the ball on the 8-yard line. Thomas made a great play on the ball, stripped it from you, and the Seahawks got the ball back. I'm going to give props to Seattle's offense. You got the ball back, and you didn't give it back to Cam Newton. My concern here, though, that Panther defense played awesome for about 56 minutes. And then they couldn't make a stop. They couldn't make the stop at the end of the game. And that's what's going to keep you from being an elite defense. The elite defenses can make a stop and give the ball back to the offense. And I thought that you were going to get the ball back for your offense. But you didn't. And so we got to give some props to Seattle for driving the ball all the way down the field and taking all the time off the clock. The last person I feel bad for this week is Isaac Redman. You went up the middle, a lot of arms, a lot of bodies. You got to protect the ball. But honestly, if you score that touchdown and you go up 9-0 on the Titans, I think the outcome is different. Now, I read today, and I heard Titan players say, doesn't matter, if we were down 9-0, we still would have came back. BS. BS. You played a conservative game. You hung in. You got a break here and there. That game was just boring. And now other people are going to say, well, at the end of the day, the Titans got the win. But at the end of the day, the Titans are still terrible. And I'm going to say this. I picked the Steelers to be that surprise double-digit win team this year, and you let me down. I guess I was wrong. Because you played like crap. There is no way you should let Tennessee hang around. And that's why I'm saying, had Redmond scored and made it 9-0, especially after the safety, that Tennessee team would have been emotionally deflated. And that stadium would have been rocking. And the reason I say that is because I've been there. And those fans are passionate. So those are my 3 players that I feel bad for. And let's talk about some of the surprises in week 1. My first surprise, Terrell Pryor, really surprising the Colts. The Colts were not ready for this. And you know what, Terrell Pryor, I'm happy for you. I actually watched you play in Western PA when you played at Jeanette. I'm glad you got your chance. The problem I have is you have a lot to learn to play quarterback. Now, you rushed for over 100 yards, and you kept the Colts defense on their heels the whole day. And you almost pulled off the improbable upset. And I'm going to tell you this. I had the Raiders pegged as one of the worst teams in the NFL. But you were respectable when you were out there. You went in against a good team, and you played well. Now, I don't think you're going to make the playoffs. I don't think you're going to win a lot of games. But most people had you getting blown out of this game. So good performance, Oakland. Really raised my eyebrows. Good job. The other big performance I saw was Reggie Bush. I didn't think it would have that big of an impact. And I'm still trying to decide. Is it Reggie Bush and how the Lions used him? Or is it just that the Vikings defense is that bad? And it could be a combination of both. I was not impressed with that Viking defense. They didn't bear down when they got a lead, and they let the Lions back in the game. Now, part of that can be blamed on Christian Ponder for not moving that offense down the field. But let's get back to Reggie Bush. Almost 200 yards of total offense, 90 yards rushing, almost 100 yards receiving. Jim Schwartz, I will give you props this week. You used Reggie Bush the right way, and you kept the Viking defense on their heels. Good job. But I don't think it's going to be a good enough job to get the job done the way you need to get it done. All it showed this week is that you have to be accountable for Reggie Bush when he's on the field. But good job in week 1. Very good job. And then I'm going to finish with this, and I'm going to finish with the controversy. The Clay Matthews hit on Kaepernick. Whether or not you're going to agree with me, here's where we're going to get in the debate. I went to work today, and I am tired of people saying Clay Matthews is a dirty player. Now, the hit itself, launching himself at the sideline, yes, not appropriate. But if you want to call him a dirty player, he would have went for the knees. He would have went for the head. He would have went to really hurt Kaepernick because he could have. But I'm tired of even Googling it and seeing dirty play, dirty play. I call it an overly aggressive play. Wrong. Very wrong. He should not have hit him. He had time to stop and not hit him. Had he kept his mouth shut in the week, maybe it wouldn't have as much controversy as it does now. But I will defend Clay Matthews as not being a dirty player. Dirty players want to hurt people. Even Colin Kaepernick said, if intimidation is all you have, you better find something else. That's all he was trying to do, is say, I'm trying to intimidate you. And it didn't work. So let's get off the hit. I don't think it was dirty. I think it was overly aggressive. He should have got flagged for it, which he did. And then that whole debacle about what the referees did, that's another thing. But with that said, let's go back to the game. Let's give props to what really happened in that game. Colin Kaepernick ate up the Packers secondary with his arm. And it proved to me that he's going to be an elite quarterback. And the acquisition of Bolden, oh my God. Who cares about Crabtree and his Achilles right now? Bolden is one heck of a receiver, and he tore the Packers up. So with that said, people, hope you enjoy your evening. Enjoy Monday Night Football. I'll see you at the next red light. Have a great evening.